Some of the best business advice I've ever received is when I started this company, I was told to be bold and confident in all my interactions. Get over that fear of hearing no, but a yes would get me closer to those big, audacious goals that I had.
Bathe yourself in the data, whether you're tackling a new problem or looking for a new opportunity. Take in as much data as you can, formulate a view, and that'll allow you to test your hypothesis and then execute.
Run your business like a sports team. Sometimes you're gonna have to release players. Sometimes you have to go after superstar players in a certain way. For a long time, I think I ran it as almost like a family. The family side can become a lot more personal, a lot more intimate, and sometimes those hard decisions become even tougher.
Start with the end in mind. As an entrepreneur, you're trying to do everything. If you want a lifestyle business, that's awesome. If you want to have a dramatic exit, that's great. But you can't do both at the same time and run an optimal company. And it's okay if you decide to change your mind somewhere along the way, but you just can't do both at the same time.
Focus on creating value. When you combine this with relentless pursuit of excellence, curiosity, integrity, and the ability to adapt and the interest to change and optimize, you'll create success for yourself and your business.
Just start. Oftentimes, when you're waiting for the perfect conditions, it can lead to missed opportunity. When you start, you have the ability to learn, adapt, and change your approach as you go along.
Maintain a growth mindset. Earlier on in my career, I thought that leadership was all about always having the right answers and making all the right decisions, but it truly is understanding how to ask the right questions, to really lead with curiosity and help inspire others so that they can have the growth mindset and achieve the success that they're looking for, so that you can achieve the success that you're looking for.
The best business advice I ever received was from a man named Cecil Phillips. I was working 20 hours a day, and Cecil sat me down and said, Norm, you've got to delegate or you'll never get around to completing your tasks.
Share the credit and take the blame. Be as generous as possible with dishing out compliments, credit, and awarding whether employees or partners, collaborators, and then always being sure to take the blame. If you do experience a failure, then that's okay, just fail forward in everything that you do, but never shy away from taking that blame.
Make sure that company culture was top of mind every single day and making sure that I executed on the company's vision and culture.
Empower others. It has been to drive success for myself through self-advocacy, but also make sure that as I'm doing that I'm elevating others around me with me, to really bring home the power that we have in ourselves and to highlight the power that others have that they might not yet see.
The motto that I choose to live by in my work professionally and personally is to live with love and not be driven by fear. Having the best interest at heart in whatever makes the most sense in your career, in your company, whether you're managing a team, and leading with love and not being driven by fear is something that I think about every single day.
My favorite quote is, "A vision without action is a hallucination, but action without vision is just random activity."
True leadership comes from the soul. It's about serving others and helping them succeed.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Never quit.
Strive for perfection. Perfection is only for the divine. You'll never achieve it, but it's the only way to achieve excellence.
If you're not first, you're last. Second place is the first loser, so it's always good to be first.
My favorite quote is from Eric Thomas, former chaplain of Georgia Tech. He would say, "Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do."
Experience is great, but evaluated experience is priceless. If you play in the big game, you have some awesome experience. But what's priceless is going back and watching that game film and really dissecting it. And same with business. Whether you have a new product launch, a new marketing campaign, going through that gives you experience, but going back and evaluating it, that's what's priceless.
Execute the cliche. Our company's foundation is about culture and teamwork and collaboration, but it's really about making sure that we execute that on a daily basis.
One of the defining moments of my life was going from a corporate leader to an entrepreneur, building a business to grow leaders. So I realized that people were motivated and had grit to excel in their career, but oftentimes lack the ability to understand the written and unwritten rules to navigate this corporate landscape.
These last 3 years, it's not any one moment, but in my 30-plus year career have been the most challenging, both professionally and personally. A lot of things are changing in the business climate. It's really been about perseverance, resilience, and learning to go deeper than I've ever had to go before, and figuring out how to lead when really the chips are down.
When I was a first-time manager, I was responsible for a full company transaction audit. I was not confident in my book of work. I restated the goal and continued on to the book of work, and 12 hours later, I successfully completed that audit. And it was in that moment that I absolutely realized that while potential is key, it takes action to make it realized. Don't ever forget what you're capable of.
My defining moment is being a good leader, being in the trenches with your people, helping them understand that you care about them, not just what they do for you, but truly and sincerely caring about your team. Because if you care about your team, they will care about you and they will care about your clients.
When I donated a kidney recently to a friend and colleague, a really great guy who was in need of some help, it's been really transformational for me because I've been able to have the benefit of focusing on my health, physical and mental health, in ways that I wasn't expecting. So it's allowed me an opportunity to really rethink things that are happening in my life, having a lot more gratitude for things that I previously took for granted.
9/11, the recession that I think affected most everyone, and then COVID was a big hit for us. To be able to push through those as a Titan, as a CEO, were huge for our company.
Understanding the weight and magnitude of the impact that we provide. The stakes are high. And that's consistent, whether it's in headlines, whether it's in news articles, the pressure that exists in leadership and the weight of that leadership. And so being able to steward that in an effective way is something that I would say has been critical and something that I've learned and that has been monumental in my growth as a leader.
Becoming a mom, learning to balance motherhood and career, I had to create a really strong network and rely on my family, rely on my friends, and I think that translates into building a really strong team.
When I moved from the big city of Marietta, Georgia, to the small rural town of Jasper, I learned that as a leader, I needed to look for traits to see what made other people different and accept them for what they are, to teach them how to really drive that, to forge their successes in their lives.
The best way that I can continue to grow is to expand partnerships, look for new opportunities to network. Our motto at the Chamber is a place where partnerships and businesses thrive, and I think that through the Titan program, through other leadership organizations and roles that I serve on, it is the best way that I have seen that I can continue to grow myself professionally and personally, as well as for the organization.
Constantly pushing the team. I sit here today because of the teams that I've built around me. And so that's from the hiring process, the coaching and the development, as well as selection of new teammates. I think that's a very integral part of success.
All great leaders are good followers. So I continue to surround myself with people a season ahead of me or generation ahead of me that can really just pass down their knowledge.
Allowing myself to continue to take risks. It's easy as a leader to have an expectation that you have to have all the answers. What people value is that you excel in the areas that you know really well, and then you adapt in the areas that you don't.
Embracing new challenges, adopt the mindset of getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, keep striving for more in order to hit the aspirational goals that I have and the moonshots that I want to take.